So it is Lucas once again from the Livewire, and this time I'm sitting down with Liam from Windwaker. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Now, just to kind of I guess, set the stage a little bit, I've become a fan of Wind Waker ever since the I Prevail tour, and I don't think you were with the band at that point,
Mm.
but it's been very cool to see this progression post COVID of you guys kind of doing the support slots and then getting onto festivals and all of that. And now obviously you guys are going to be part of good things. So we're gonna get into good things in a little bit. First, I would love to talk about hyperviolence because that's recently just celebrated a year.
It has, yeah.
So, because I haven't had a chance to really talk about it, I'd love to talk about that being kind of your first record back with the band. Not only that, that's Connor's first record with the band as well.
Yeah.
Do you feel that that album has reshaped the whole identity of the band just with you guys coming into the fold?
Oh, absolutely. It's been I mean every release always feels like a new era in some shape or form, but this one really takes that to a whole new level. I mean the record in itself as a thematical piece of work is what it's about. It's about us finding our identity again and working out what that is, what those parts were. I mean, there's still like, I mean, there was three-fifths of that band that were still, the people that did like Love Language, of course, but working out what that new dynamic was for Hyperviolence was integral to what we were exploring, and I guess, yeah, I guess the feedback and the result of that. Was a positive one, and it's kind of set the trajectory of where we're going with things. So
For sure. And then the record too, it also kind of blends that signature heaviness with the melody and the chaos. When you guys kind of went into writing it, did you just kind of look at, okay, it's again, it's you and Connor here. Let's make something that sounds a little bit different but still sounds the same. Like what did the writing process, I guess, go into the new record, into Hyperviolence?
into Hyperviolence, it was weird. So for Connor and I, it was new because we hadn't been involved in the writing process of Love Language, but Love Language had like some new it had a new process as far as you know when I was back when I was in the band, going back to like Empire days and whatnot. We were very much in the process of like, all right, we'll write an instrumental and then we'll put vocals over the top of it. Whereas I think from Love Language and then to Hyperviolence, we were writing vocals at the same time as the music and making sure that those two things were interweaving and basically like informing each other. So like if I had a melody, that would help inform what a lead guitar or a melodic line in the synths were doing. And so that sort of that basically was an evolution from Love Language into Hyperviolence. So that was a new thing for me. And the process kind of looked like us having about three different studios happening at once, where we had like Studio A, which was Chris's studio, where we were working on sort of whatever it was at the time, mostly maybe the music. Then I was getting sent off to Studio B to write lyrics. Or while I had like a melody that I'd worked out on in Studio A, and then in Studio C, there was Connor that was kind of getting sent off to do like different sound design things, and yeah, it was we were kind of just like doing this like musical chairs of rooms in like this one apartment and on the different levels, but yeah, it was. I don't know. It was interesting, mainly just because of the different personnel, and that was what we found was the most like not. I was gonna say challenging, but I don't even think it just basically just came from what we all loved doing and the influences that we all had at that time. I don't know if it was necessarily like we have to make it signature heavy or signature this. It was just like, all right, well, let's just write what we think sounds right for us at this moment, and maybe um, kind of hint to things that we've sort of maybe done in the past a little bit.
Yeah, cool. Speaking then, I guess then on that writing too, I feel like the record is a little bit more experimental in terms of like you guys trying things you maybe haven't tried before. Was there at any point you were like, this is too risky, or like, was there did it ever kind of hit a wall?
There's two songs in particular that I can think of that were like, is this is either gonna be risky or divisive, and those two songs were "Break the Rules" and "Venom." Um, "Break the Rules," I feel like we had such a force of like we had like a force of people that were so pro "Break the Rules," that it was never going to not make the album, and we knew that that was like that had to be a single. But and we had so much fun writing it as well that it just like it felt very infectious. But also like I think there was like a couple moments from at least for me and maybe someone else that was like, well, this is gonna be interesting response. And Venom kind of had a similar kind of thing. Like we went back to rewrite and um, especially like the vocals on Venom, and we ended up just keeping what I had originally written, and maybe redoing them in a bit more of with a bit more swagger, a bit more confidence. But yeah, we ended up kind of just keeping them on the album, and we love those songs a lot, and we love playing them live. So I'm glad that we did.
Yeah, well, I can definitely say, as a fan of both the band and the album specifically, "Break the Rules" is probably one of my favorite tracks. So I'm really glad that it made it and you guys pushed through with it because that was one where I wrote down, I'm like, I feel like this is probably one of the most experimental tracks, and hearing you kind of even verify that for me, like
Yeah,
that makes a ton of sense.
yeah,
Um, Now talking into 2025 because that was last year. So moving forward, Victory Lap has just come out.
yay.
Been pretty successful and it's a pretty banging track. This is the first song with Justin involved in the writing process as well, right?
It's the first song that we've released with him on the track. He recorded the guitars, but he wasn't quite in the band yet when we started writing that song. So some of his first writing credit song will be to come, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah, cool, cool. It's cool too because like I'm a fan of his band To Octavia,
yeah,
and they're banging. So like I don't know, like I almost felt like maybe this is just my preconceived notion, I guess, of seeing him in the video. Like it felt way heavier, and he's in like a metal band from
mm,
Melbourne as well. So like I just automatically drew the connection of like, oh, he must have been involved. But
mm.
yeah, no, that's all good. Now, obviously, with Victory Lap, the idea that there's a new song coming out, is that a tease for new music?
We're working on new music. So I mean, like even currently, like at the moment, later today, we're working on some new tunes. We've been working on stuff this week. So I don't know when that'll be. I can't like say that it'll be like this year or but more than likely next year. There'll probably be new music. But yeah, we've been working on a lot of new stuff. We're pretty stoked on, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Now, obviously, we mentioned good things earlier, and you guys are going to be part of the 2025 iteration of that lineup. How'd you feel finding out that you guys were going to be invited to play? Like, what was that experience like? Because I know you guys did Knotfest last year, and
Mm.
that was killer. Good things is like a whole bigger lineup, bigger bands. Like, it's not kind of just one stage, it's multiple stages and a whole bunch of stuff going on. How did that feel to kind of be invited to come play that and come back to Dal to do it?
Um, I I love good things. I think it's a great festival. It harkens back a little bit to the feelings I got going to, say a sound wave or even a big day out to a certain extent. And yeah, getting the invite to play this year was just like, oh, perfect. Like the timing of this is perfect. We're about to jet off to the US over the next month or so. Gonna come back, probably work on a little bit more new music, and then yeah, cap off the year with a good things run. Is yeah, it's just like it just rounds out the year perfect for us, and we couldn't be more stoked to be part of such a killer lineup.
Yeah, for sure. Is there any bands on the lineup in particular you're excited to check out or you haven't seen before?
Um, the one on the top of my list that I'll probably say every time is Refused. They're one of my favorite bands of all time. Um, I I've never gotten to see them live. They've disbanded, come back together. When they came back together and came to Australia, I think I may have been 16 or 17, so not quite old enough to go and see them, which I was really shattered about. And this will unfortunately be their last time or last shows playing. I'm really excited to see them. Excited to see Tool. I think I've seen Tool once or twice before, but I love that band. Weezer, Garbage. I mean, like, there's a lot of bands that I'm excited to be reunited with the homies and make them suffer. Yeah, there's lots of bands that I want to go see.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys are lucky because you guys kind of like will get to sort of see certain bands a certain day before you have to fly out. And yeah,
Yeah,
meanwhile, me, I'll probably be in the back doing interviews and stuff.
yeah,
So I've just got to kind of just wait till I'm done and then I can go out and enjoy the
yeah.
rest of the night. Now, as you kind of mentioned, obviously talking about some of the bands that are on the top end of that lineup, it's probably one of the most sonically diverse lineups in Good Things history.
Mhm.
How does it feel to be kind of put in with bands that are that big and that kind of varied in terms of scope?
Um, it's cool. Like, I think as far as the like genre, like the varied, like the diversity of genres, like I think that's cool. I think that like that relates to us in a interesting sort of way. I think we can kind of blend in or as far as different genres go. And I don't know. I think more than anything, I just look at the particular bands that are on the lineup and go, yeah, damn, I love that band. I love that band. I can't wait to see them. Even bands that are not even like as big, but they're big. Like a South Arcade, for example. Like we're super excited to finally get to see them live here in Australia. So yeah, stoked.
Yeah, I saw South Arcade open for Bill Murray earlier in the year when they were here. And literally, again, another band I kind of didn't really know walking in and just blew me away with how good they are. So I'm really excited to, fingers crossed, get to see them again. But we'll kind of see where the day ends up with me.
I'm praying for you.
Um, Last question is that I've seen you guys multiple times. I caught you guys, like my very first experience with Wind Waker was just before you joined, where the guys opened for I Prevail and Motionless in White. I was completely blown away with the band. You then came in not long after, and then I got to see you with the Enter Shikari show. I think was my first experience with you, and then I did the North Lane show at Ipswich. Obviously, not first. This is probably going to be my fifth time seeing you guys. Is there anything special you guys are planning for the Good Thing sets? Like, is there anything you're kind of looking forward to doing, or maybe trying to get involved while on the tour?
Well, it'll be the first time we're playing Victory Lap like to an audience that has heard it. We played it a couple times before, but yeah, I'm excited to do that. We haven't really finished planning what the set is going to be, but I'm hoping to put in a few surprises, whether that's like in production or with song choice. But yeah, I'm just keen to have like a really fun, energetic set.
Yeah, hell yeah. Cool. Well, like, as long as Siren, Superstitious Fantasy, and Victory Lap are in there, I'm gonna be stoked.
Okay, cool.
They're
We'll keep those
three
in
of my
mind.
favorite tracks.
All right.
Killer.
Excellent.
Well, Good Things Festival is going to be scheduled for the start of December. I'll throw all the details up at the end of the video. Liam, thank you so much for taking time out to chat. I know it's early and I know you've got a big day ahead of you, but I appreciate you taking the time out.
Not a problem. Thanks for chatting with me.